about immigration news. Hi, everyone. Again, this is Marina Shepelsky. This is my immigration news show, and I'm doing it live on Facebook and on YouTube and on TikTok. TikTok through my phone, which is right next to me. So don't be weirded out that I keep looking left, because that's where my phone is on a stand. And here I'm with you looking at the screen with YouTube and Facebook at the same time. And I have a lot of news for you guys this week. And also, I would like to invite you to post your questions down here, both places, in the comments, and I will be happy to answer them as soon as I'm done with the news part. So I promise to keep the news short and the rest of the time to spend on your questions. So this is why I'm here for you. A little bit about myself if you're here for the first time. I am an immigration lawyer in New York and live in New Jersey, and I am doing my weekly, sometimes weekly show, bi-weekly show to talk about immigration news. I'm an immigrant myself. I'm from Ukraine, from the Soviet Union. At the time I left, it was Soviet Union. And I have a definite first person interest in immigration. I consider immigrants my people. I advocate for immigrant rights. I talk about the most complicated cases, and we take on the most complicated cases in our office: political asylum, regular asylum, VAWA, abuse cases, U visas, T visas. That's our forte. We work a lot with immigrants, but also we do work visas, extensions of visas, work green card petitions, and so on. I keep things simple. I keep things interesting. And I'm going to start talking about the news now, because I see people are joining and are watching and started asking questions. So the first thing I wanted to discuss today was about USCIS announcing that they will extend all the deadlines by 60 days for anything they sent to you after March 2020 due to COVID-19. So because of the COVID pandemic, they're extending the flexibility, the extra time to answer all of these documents that I'm going to list by 60 days. And this is getting extended all the way to January 2023. So now you have extra 60 days to respond to the following: continuations to request evidence, meaning request evidence extensions, notices of intent to deny, notices of intent to revoke, notices to intent to rescind, notices of intent to terminate regional centers, notices of intent to withdraw temporary protected status, and motions to reopen an N-400. So not everything, but certain things, they do give you extra time to extend. Extra 60 days, and the other stuff they will keep is extra 90-day response. Oh, they will also maintain, they will also maintain a 90-day response period for Form I-290B, Notice of Appeal or Notice of Motion to Reopen, and Form N-336 when you failed your citizenship interview. It's a request for hearing on a decision of denial in naturalization proceedings. So this will help you if you have the things I listed. You have extra 60 days. So that's that, and that's the biggest news today. The new program for people from Venezuela for their private sponsorship for humanitarian parole started, and the first group of Venezuelans had arrived in the United States. So this is a program similar to Unite for Ukraine. If you're from Venezuela and you have a family member or even an organization or a friend who filed for you, now you can come here if they give you private sponsorship. In other words, as long as the government doesn't have to take on paying for your medical insurance and your travel, and you're not going to ask for, free insurance or welfare, they'll let you in here with this temporary 2-year humanitarian parole. New thing also is that Ethiopia received temporary protected status, TPS for Ethiopia. And, when I started this year, there were only 12 countries on the list of TPS countries. By the end of this year, there's going to be probably like 20 because Ethiopia just received temporary protected status for 18 months. Their Tigray region has had a lot of civil war since 2020, a major humanitarian crisis through the country. In addition to human rights violations and conflict-related violence, many areas in Ethiopia are also experiencing severe food insecurity, dangerous environmental conditions, and subsequent displacement. So the DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said we are going to be humanitarian. We're going to allow Ethiopians to come here with TPS and be here legally. Now, you had to have been here in US as of October 22, 2022. So literally, if you came this month or earlier, you're eligible to get a work permit, be here legally, and travel too, as a holder of TPS if you're from Ethiopia. So this wasn't even on my news list, which I prepared, but this just happened. So it's definitely something that I'm going to talk about. Now, let's talk about what all of you are probably interested in hearing about is for what's going on with the amnesty, the immigration registry amnesty that the 3 senators started to put forth in Congress last week. And for now, nothing new, really. They started talking about this in October. Alexandra Padilla introduced legislation to broaden the legal pathway to citizenship for anybody who's here over 7 years. They want to take an old law that said that anybody who's here since 1972 or before, change the 1972 date to 7 years from the date of filing and get a new amnesty going. Now, I was talking to somebody in our office, a client, and talking about how amnesties are pretty rare in the system. I mean, the last real amnesty, a wide amnesty, was in 2001 under President Clinton. Then Obama tried to do something for the Dreamer kids. He tried. He did this for DACA. And DACA is still in the courts right now. And the federal court just said that DACA is illegal the way it was done. I guess they're allowing the people who have DACA to continue. So this just happened in October too. October has been a very weird month. So a federal judge ruled in October this month that DACA can continue temporarily after a federal appeals court ruled the policy unlawful. So they're saying it's unlawful, but whoever has this for now can continue. They're hoping that Congress will catch up and make this actually as a law. But in fact, it's really not a real amnesty either. But it did help a lot of people. So we're talking about no amnesty, real amnesty since 2001. The problem with immigrants has not been fixed. And hopefully this immigration registry will work. I have a good feeling about it, but it's in Congress now being discussed and nothing new I heard about. I haven't heard anything new about that. So last thing that I want to talk about is VAWA. And I always talk about it because surprisingly, a lot of people still do not know anything about VAWA. They're like, what is VAWA? I don't even know what those letters mean. VAWA is short for Violence Against Women Act. It's a law that actually President Biden, when he was a senator, sponsored and passed. This is 28 years ago, almost 30 years ago, saying they're going to help women who are abuse victims, victims of domestic violence. And to help them, they're going to pass this law so these women can get benefits and immigration benefits too. Men and women use this law. We have lots of men clients who win green cards for themselves, self-petition green cards under Violence Against Women Act. VAWA. So it helps men and not women. It helps children whose parent is married to an abusive citizen, like stepchildren of abusers. It helps people who have children who are abusing them. Like sometimes kids who are US citizens, they turn 21, they're 23, 25, 30, and they abuse their parents who are still illegal. So VAWA is a really broad law. We use it all the time. The abuse does not have to be like physical. It doesn't need police reports. It doesn't need any orders from a family court, although the cases that have those, of course, are strong, and we don't need that much more to add. But in any case, you always have to prove that the marriage was real. You have to prove it through paperwork, joint paperwork, pictures, trips together, bills in two names, credit cards, and so on. Starting with the questions now. So SD says on YouTube, good morning. I'm a female genital mutilation victim. Can I apply for asylum after 10 years in USA? Please answer my question. You can apply for asylum if you can prove that things got worse in your country. And also if you have kids who are born here in America, we can add to asylum cancellation of removal. So my number is on the bottom of the screen. It's in my bio on TikTok. It is 718-769-6352. And you can call me and we will be happy to do a consultation. Before I get into more questions, I want to explain that whatever we discuss here is not legal advice, but it is information. And if you want legal advice, we do paid consultations only. We work for money, not surprisingly, in our office. And you can call and make an appointment and we'll be happy to talk to you. I did my hair this morning because I'm going on the AILA conference in Florida, American Immigration Lawyers Association. I'm very excited to meet people who are also immigration lawyers, to meet people and network with Department of Homeland Security, USCIS, judges will be there. I'm super excited to meet all those people because this will help me be a better lawyer for you guys. And all the lawyers in our office are going with me. So our whole lawyer team is going, and even a paralegal from Texas, because we have a team where some people are working in person here in New York and New Jersey, and some people are remote from other states. So our team is going to this conference for AILA in Florida, and we're going to be super excited to be there. Ramesh says on YouTube, 21-year-old kid and my kids can file VAWA. Oh, his son is, I guess, somebody, or if his children is 21, can he file VAWA? Absolutely. Yes, yes. Hi, says Ileana, hope you're well. What do you think? There will be a new registry like 7 or 10 years? I think so, but we don't know the final form that this law will take yet. We'll see. Let me start here with TikTok. I have lots of questions here on TikTok. My TikTok community, I'm so happy that you're here. I love you. Hello, says ma'am. Hello. Something new with U visa. Nothing new with U visa for now. Nothing new for U visa. But they do have kind of a new process called bona fide pre-approval. So within 2 years, hopefully, of filing, they look over your case, and if it looks good, you'll get a work permit. If it looks approvable, but it's not a final decision yet, because U visas, not VAWA, U visas are taking approximately 5 to 6 years for some people. Now, how do I contact you? Somebody's asking me on TikTok. In my bio is my phone number, but also my phone number, my office phone number, not my personal number. The office phone number, 718-769-6352. You could just Google my name, Marina Shepelsky. You'll see our office contact information. Now, what does case approval certification mean? A case approval certification means they looked over your case and they decided it was approved rightfully. So it was like confirmed that the approval was right. It's like a double approval. We have somebody who just became a #1 viewer on TikTok, B. Holland. Hello, and thank you for watching. Okay, which year is the process of U visa? U visa is taking about 5 to 6 years from filing. Is there any way we can waive the interview for marriage green card? My partner has PTSD. Yes, you can get a letter from your psychologist or psychiatrist. Explain about the PTSD. Attach copies of as much joint documents as you can and just ask for a waiver. Mail it to your office that's going to interview you, your field office, right? So what you do is you get a doctor's letter. Under the doctor's letter, so the doctor's letter will say, we ask that you waive the interview for my patient. It might give him more PTSD. That's first. Second, collect copies of joint leases, joint taxes, joint bills, joint trips, pictures. Include 20 pictures, and on the side, glue them on a piece of paper. Like glue one picture or two pictures per page, like this, right? So like this is your page, this is your picture 1 and picture 2. Next to the picture, write date, place, date of the picture. Where was it taken? What does it mean? Who is in the picture? Give them as much as you can so that there's no need for an interview and they will waive it. Now, I don't know what that means, COWF, and I'm married with US citizen. I actually don't know what that means. Hi, ma'am. Hello. Then Rashid says, my case is an NVC, 1 year and 3 months now. My documents are complete and waiting for an interview. Unfortunately, not much we can do. Also, I have somebody asking, and I had 2 consultations yesterday, people asking how they can move their asylum interview along. They're not scheduling. They filed 2016, they filed in 2017, even 2018. They've been waiting 5 years, 4 years, 6 years, 7 years, and nothing is happening with their asylum interview. It's a big problem all over the United States right now. In Florida, they opened a second office in Tampa to deal with this problem, but it's really not helping just yet. The only thing you can do, if you go to our website, shepelskylaw.com, I have a blog section. I wrote a whole article about it yesterday. There's really 3 methods to expedite your asylum interview. Number 1, you go and you see your congressman or congresswoman where you live, and you tell them that you've been waiting and waiting. Please, congresswoman, can you help me move the case along? Every congressperson has a function of helping people with federal agencies. So they will help you. They will contact the asylum office and ask what's going on. Number 2 is you make the online request to expedite, or you write them a letter directly and say, I need to expedite my case, but you need to have a reason. Doctor's letter, some hardship to you. Why are you special? Why should they pull you out of the line of people like you? So you have to explain that. And the third method is bringing a lawsuit, taking them to court. And that's called Writ of Mandamus. We've been filing a lot of these cases lately because the waiting times are just getting out of control. So a Writ of Mandamus sometimes works to unstick your stuck case, to move your case along. Next question on YouTube is Eliana123. Hi, hope you're well. Hello, hope you're well. Do you think there will be, I did this already. I think there will be a new registry law. Mr. Tusk says, good day, attorney. Good day, Mr. Tusk. IG Mobile says, is there anything that comes for people who are living for 10 years to get in legal status? So for now, there is this thing called cancellation of removal under 42B. Cancellation of removal works if you're in the United States over 10 years and you have US citizen kids or green card kids, and or maybe a green card holder or US citizen spouse. And this US citizen close family member of yours has to have hardship, has to show they have problems in their lives that they wouldn't be able to deal with if they moved to Pakistan, for example. So if they're sick and they have to move with you to Pakistan because you're getting deported. It's called cancellation of removal. Like, we cancel your removal, your deportation, and give you a green card, because if they had to go to Pakistan or India, they wouldn't get their medical problems fixed. They wouldn't get their mental counseling done. Whatever it is, their special hardship, kids who have special needs, for in their interest to help them, they legalize you. It goes to immigration court, and the judge makes a decision. There's a small quota for these visas. So even if you win, you leave the court without any green card, and you have to wait 2 years. So the whole process takes about 4 to 5 years on the conservative side. That's how long it actually takes. But it does exist now. And if there's a registry, if there's a new law, I'm going to tell you about it as soon as I hear something. Good morning, says Zulika. Good morning, Zulika. El Paso says, is it true that they started to call for an interview for people who applied for asylum in the years 2015 and 16? Absolutely. They've been calling, but they don't call like all of the people. They just call some people, and it's like a lottery. If you're lucky, they'll get to you, but maybe they won't. Let's get to TikTok again. How long does the VAWA case take? VAWA takes about 3 years, plus or minus. Now, we've had recently some cases that were approved after 9 months. We had a few cases approved after a year and like 3 months. So that tells me that some cases can go as little as like 8 or 9 months. One of my colleagues told me even 4 months they took for their case. So as little as 4 to 9 months, sometimes a year and a half, but also as much as 3 years. Now, after the VAWA is approved, comes the next problem. And we have 2 people in my practice right now that are stuck with their green card not being approved, even after the VAWA is approved. And I have one guy where his VAWA was approved in 2020, and until now, he still doesn't have a green card. And we keep he keeps talking to his congressman. He keeps calling USCIS. We call for him. He writes them. We write them. Nothing. Mr. Tusk says, I'm a 2-year green card holder and a victim of domestic violence from his wife. He's getting divorced. Is it true that he can file for citizenship within 3 years of my green card due to file I-751 based on domestic violence? It is if you get your first green card based on VAWA, then yes. But it sounds like you got your I-751, not the temporary green card approved based on VAWA. You can try, you can try to file for citizenship. And if it was specifically approved based on abuse, then yes, but you don't know, because they don't usually tell you how they approved you. Maybe you proved the good faith marriage and not just the abuse, and that's what they approved you. So for the I-751, I mean, I don't know. It's like 50-50. You can apply just to see how it goes, but if you didn't get your green card through VAWA, you have to wait 5 years. If you got your green card through VAWA specifically, yes, you can apply for citizenship after 3 years of having a green card. Eliana is saying, what do you have to prove if she left the partner years ago? How can you file for VAWA if nobody can confirm? First of all, they cannot just be a partner. They have to be a spouse. You had to be married to them. If you were married to them, if you have a marriage license, then you can file for VAWA. Now, if you don't have witnesses, you can use other paperwork like documents to prove taxes, bills, utility statements, credit card statements, and 2 names. Prove the marriage. But also, when you prove the marriage, you have to prove the abuse for VAWA. How do you prove the abuse? The first thing you should do is go to a psychologist. And then you talk to your parents and your friends and anybody who knows you and has seen you be depressed, crying about this. has seen how traumatized you are from this marriage, in that situation, absolutely, you'll win your VAWA. Gotcha on YouTube is saying, hello, how can we know that a pending I-485 has been held in abeyance waiting for VAWA case if we sent a letter to request it? It's a great question. I struggle with this in my office all the time. Look, how can you know? If you don't get a denial, it's open, but you don't really know 100% until you really just like go in person and do info pass and make sure, or you call on the 1-800 number and you ask them to escalate to an immigration officer who can double check if your I-485 is open and not closed. Sometimes they say no because VAWA is a confidential case and they don't like to answer phones for VAWA. Okay, so VAWA questions sometimes do not get answered on the phone. It's a good question. I deal with this all the time. It's hard to know if it's open or not. Udu Jafar says, hello, Marina. Thank you for everything. I went to the office for appointment for VAWA. One of the members got me, please. I need to have a word with you. You can schedule a consultation with me, but I'm really not there most of the time because I have a couple of offices and it's really difficult to get me personally. I can assure you that our members of the staff, our lawyers, are trained by me. We're going to a conference together. Everybody says the same thing. I'm not going to say anything different from my team. Cydia wants to know if there's a VAWA case or interview. Does VAWA have an interview? The answer is no interview for VAWA, but since you're applying for VAWA with a green card application, there is an interview for green card sometimes, not always. So there's no interview for VAWA itself, but sometimes there is a green card for the associated, sometimes there's an interview for the associated green card. Okay, I've been waiting for my spouse visa interview for more than a year. What can I do? Nothing. They're very delayed and there's really not much we can do. VAWA is taking 3 years. Consular spouse cases like yours are taking 2-3 years too sometimes. How can I get a work visa? Great question. First of all, you have to first check your education and experience. If you have a bachelor's degree, 4 years or more, master's or doctorate, you're a good candidate. If you have really cool experience in addition to that, you worked at a really good job, like you had a career, you were telling other people what to do, you worked in a really cool company, your company is like known, and even in your country, right? You're a good candidate. If you have that in your background, you can apply for jobs, and when you apply for jobs in the United States, you tell them that you need them to sponsor you for a work visa. And if they agree, then you can apply for a work visa. We can help you with all the paperwork and getting a visa, but you need to have sponsorship from a company for a work visa and a work green card. Kursoon, my follower here on YouTube, says hello. He's just saying hello and thanks for sharing the news. I'm happy to hear from you, Kursoon. Thank you for watching. Anu Chandra says, hi, ma'am. Can I go live in India if my VAWA is filed? Prima facie approved, advance parole approved, willing to abandon advance parole and green card. Will I be able to apply for a green card from India? Do I need an I-360 amendment? You can take your advance parole and spend a few months in India, but you cannot just leave your I-360 and go to India, because I think that they might consider that you abandoned it. Although you can change it, you can amend it and say you will be waiting for the decision in India. It's much harder to get an immigrant visa in India than a green card here. You have a lot of problems if you go to India and have to go to the consulate. I suggest you take your advance parole, go spend a few months, 4 months, 5 months, even 6 months in India. Come back, spend a couple of months here, Then again, go to India while you're waiting. You can go back and forth, but do not move completely to India. I don't recommend, changing your I-360 to consular processing. You will get denied. I never trust the consul, especially in India. We have so many people from India in the United States. I think they told the Indian consul to deny, deny, deny. Here you have a chance inside the United States. Use your advance parole, go spend some time with your family, but come back. Ma'am, says TikTok user Karan, do you think that anything is going to change in processing asylum green card fast? Any updates? No. Now, if you were filed for asylum green card, I'm going to tell you right now how you can check how long it's taking. Now, they did set the goals for 2023 to expedite everything, not just asylum green cards, but all kinds of cases. We will see. USCIS is constantly saying they're working on it. They're working on it. They're working on it. We'll see next year. So far, I don't see much good changes. Okay. So based on asylum, if you're in Nebraska Service Center, it's taking 3 years plus 38 months. So that's not changing right now. And if you're in Texas, it's 38 months too. So if you file for a green card based on asylum, you're waiting for 3 years and 2 months. That's how long it takes. You asked me 4 times on TikTok, how long does it take VAWA to get approved? And I'm going to tell you, as I'm looking at the numbers, I'm on the USCIS website. It's free, uscis.gov. Go to the link, processing times. Find from the drop-down menu your form, whatever form you have. I'm looking for VAWA, I-360, Violence Against Women Act, and Vermont Service Center. So I go through the drop-down menus. Form is I-360 petition for a married Asian widower, a special immigrant. Form category, VAWA. Field office or service center, there's only one here. Vermont, get processing times. Right now, VAWA is taking 30 months or 30 and a half months. So we are saying about 2.5 to 3 years. I always tell our clients, whenever my team is talking to them, 3 years. Tell people 3 years. Cool One says, hello, ma'am. I'm from California. What's going on with my case? Please let me know. You have to call the office. We have a wonderful team who can help you get information, or you can email me. I'll forward it to the person in charge, and I'll be happy to help. Good morning, ma'am. Any idea how to get a stamped copy of my 589? You can do a FOIA. You can do a FOIA request to USCIS and request a copy of your whole USCIS file. They'll send it to you, and that's going to have your stamp on it. I found this on the web. Oh, my watch is talking to me. It thinks I'm asking it something. Bayano Parker says, hello, my friend has an adjustment of status pending since 2017. He keeps renewing his work permit. What should he do? He should wait. It sometimes takes a long time, especially if it's like VAWA or asylum. Right now, there's nothing else you can do. I mean, okay, there are some things you can do. You can go and speak to your local senator or congressman. I saw somebody in the comments recommending it. Great idea. Get your congressman involved. Let them call USCIS for you and get you back the results. Get you some sort of an update. You also can just go on uscis.gov, go to check my case status, check your case status, and right under that is a link to submit a case inquiry. So keep submitting the case inquiry on uscis.gov website. Good morning, ma'am, says Lovely Sunshine. Any idea how to get a stamped copy? Oh, I already answered this. Hi, Marina, do you speak Russian? Yes, I speak Russian. Привет, привет. Я говорю по-русски, но это англоязычный канал. I speak Russian, but this is my English language. Now, for people on TikTok, find me on YouTube. I have 2 channels on YouTube. one English that I'm doing now, and for Russian speakers, only in Russian. There's separate news I discuss, separate stuff on the Russian channel. And I do it in Russian, not in English. IG says, thank you for answering his questions. You're very welcome. My friend The Dream says, good morning, Marina. Good morning, everyone. She's my follower. Every time I do something, she's here. Udu Jafar says, how will I get my social security card after getting my work permit? This is a great question because a lot of people don't understand how this works. The current form, the form you fill out for the work authorization, has a question in it. Do you want them to automatically issue you a social when you get your work permit? Hopefully you checked off yes. If that's true, Social Security Administration automatically will just mail you your new Social Security card. It's just as simple as that. Mila Rayevska says, hi, Marina. I came to US in 2001 as an F1 student visa holder. I've been in US and out of status for 20 years. She must be from Ukraine because she applied for TPS. Oh, yes, as a citizen of Ukraine. The question is, do I have the risks for applying for advanced parole? Can I travel to Ukraine if I get an advanced parole? Will Customs and Border Protections allow me to re-enter? Mila, just think about what you're asking me. Let's break your question down into two parts. Can you safely travel with advanced parole? If you see me on TikTok, and everybody on YouTube, go and please find me on TikTok and sign up to my account of TikTok, because there I post every day a funny, good video. Like, it's funny, meaning I try to make it interesting and entertaining for you guys so you don't get bored and fall asleep on me. But I always provide my real advice and good information. And I always say, if you have an advanced parole and you're allowed to travel, travel. You're fine. You're safe. Your next part of the question is, can you go back to Ukraine? Now, you have TPS from Ukraine, meaning you have like asylum from Ukraine. You told the government and they believed you by filing TPS that you're afraid to go. Now you go to Ukraine, you violated TPS. They might not let you back in and you will never get a green card. Yes, you can use your advanced parole. Do not travel to Russia or Ukraine with it. You might not be able to come back. So feel free and safe to apply. File the I-131 for the advanced parole. But do not go back to the country from where you have TPS, because it looks like you're a liar and you were never afraid. You were just scamming the system. To them, it looks like this. You understand? All right. And Kamouj says, hello, my favorite lawyer. I'm very touched. I'm somebody's favorite lawyer. That's amazing. Hello, says Steven on TikTok. Hello. Okay. Can a B1, B2 visa status be changed inside the US? Will that need a lawyer, and how expensive is it? How long will it take? I personally do not like to do this. We rarely do extensions of tourist visas because people usually do not have a good reason to extend their tourist visa. What USCIS considers a good reason is, like, if you have a family event you don't want to miss, if you have medical work or dental work that you're doing that you need to be here for, if somebody is sick, that's a good reason. If your only reason for an extension is just because you want to hang out in the United States longer and nothing is happening home, like you're not from Ukraine, that there's a war about the Ukraine, right? There's no reason for you to stay here and reside here. When you are here over 6 months, which is what's happening when you're extending your tourist visa, you get a tourist visa for 6 months, and then you're asking for another 6 months to extend it. You cannot extend it for more than that. And when you're here for a year, you lived in the United States and you violated your tourist visa. So they're not going to approve it, period. So that's why I really hate doing them, because the chance of success, if your only reason to do it is just to travel and hang out in the United States, like a nomad, is not good. People get denied. So the only good reason could be you need a medical treatment. You need a dental treatment. You have maybe a car accident and you need more time to get a settlement. Who knows? But those are really good reasons. The rest is bullshit. Okay? They don't give you extensions for bullshit reasons. Somebody says he appreciates my answer. Thank you. Her Dirth says that her husband has PTSD. Is that a valid reason to get the interview waived for a marriage green card? You can try. It is a valid reason, but not because you say so. They need a letter from his doctor. If his doctor, his psychiatrist or psychologist can write him this letter, great, they will do it. By the way, if you want a whole consultation about this, we have a great psychologist who helps us in this situation that we can kind of point you to. And if she agrees to take on your case, she can help you get that letter that you need. We can try to get your interview waived. Give us a call, 718-769-6352. My phone number is in my bio on TikTok. But if you're watching me on YouTube, and I invite people from TikTok to sign up to my YouTube channel where you can watch for longer videos discussing topics like how to win asylum, how to move your asylum interview up if you've been waiting for 5 years. What is VAWA? How do you win VAWA? All these things I do in longer videos on YouTube. TikTok, nobody watches more than 8 minutes. Guys, literally, and I'm successful on TikTok. I have 2 really big accounts on TikTok, and they're fun, and people love them. I dance, I move, I make really cool videos there. But the thing is, my average viewing time on TikTok is 8 seconds, guys. TikTok is a place where people watch for 8 seconds. So here on YouTube, if you go to my YouTube channel, you can watch a longer video if you have time. You can plug in your headphones and listen if you're in the bus. If you're driving, you can listen. You don't have to watch necessarily. That's YouTube. If you want to see a real quick advice on different situations, Google me, find me on TikTok then, and then look for the hashtag that you're interested in. I have 7 million views on the hashtag Shepelsky Law. That's all me, guys. I'm the only one who posts on Shepelsky Law accounts. So 7 million people have watched my videos and they like them. And I have 2 accounts on TikTok where I have 67,000 followers and I think like 36,000 followers. So check out TikTok, but also TikTokers, if you want to spend more time watching my videos, find me on YouTube. And of course, I'm on Instagram too. So if you want to watch a little video pictures of me, my kids, our office, other people from our office, you'll find them on Instagram and on Facebook too. But here, I usually do, where you're watching me now, videos educating people about immigration law and answering questions. Because look, I'm not giving you legal advice, but certain logical things that seem easy to me, they're not necessarily legal advice, but I do give you an answer. And that's what people like watching me for. I applied in 2017 and got approved in 2018 for a green card. Now they ask me for my medical. I guess this is VAWA. This is good. If they're asking you for your medical, they're close to approving you, and maybe you won't even need an interview, because if they wanted to see you, they would say, come for an interview, and they'll ask you for your medical there. So just give them the medical. You're probably going to get approved without an interview. And that happens if you win VAWA. VAWA doesn't always have an interview. Sometimes they just write you a letter and say, just send us your medical. Drop off your medical or send us your medical. We don't need an interview. We'll just approve you as is. Fatuma Raffle says, hi, Marina. My lawyer prepared my DS-260. It's an application for visa online. And the affidavit of support, I-864, and sent it in for review. Everything is correct. Probably he will be uploading this week. How long will it take? A few months after everything is uploaded. Everything NVC approves, then takes a few months. It's hard to know how long it will take to get your interview from Kenya. But a few months, be patient, prepare yourself. Kamur says he received a request for evidence, RFE for VAWA, from USCIS last week. and started working on the reply in this case. How long before I get a work permit with C9? Those are completely unrelated. Those are two events that have no connection to each other. You're working on the RFE for your VAWA case. That's fine. You should answer what they need and give them the documents they want. Separately, you file for a work permit based on having a pending green card. C9 means the code used to tell USCIS you have a pending green card application. It usually takes about a year now to get a work permit, a whole year. Now, let me just double check processing times because they change all the time. Work permit is I-765 form. I go to based on C9, what you just told me. C9 is pending adjustment of status. And let's pretend you're in the National Benefit Center. Work permit there is taking 8.5 months. If you ended up in Texas Service Center for the work permit, it's taking about 15 months. So it could take a year and a half to get your work permit. Just be patient. I know it's not easy. If you're in California, if the bottom left corner of your I-765 receipt notice for EAD, for work permit, says California Service Center, you're waiting for 17 months from the date of filing. That's what USCIS says is their current average processing time. So you could be waiting for your work authorization between 8 to 18 months, depending on where it ended up. All right, I think pretty much, I have a couple more questions. On TikTok, can my minor brother join me as a fellow with my parents? I applied an I-130 for my parents. No. If you file as a citizen for your parents, your brother cannot be included in those petitions. You have to file a separate petition for your brother, and that's currently taking like 16 to 20 years. So that's useless, okay? What I recommend you do, as soon as your parents get a green card, they file for him, and that's going to take like another year and a half from when your parents get their own green card. So yes, that means they probably need to like leave him with somebody for a few months in your country. When they're ready to come here, get their green cards, file for him, go back, maybe hang out with him, and come back and forth until he gets his own green card. I know that people always get upset about that, but that's the fastest way to get your brother here. Please tell me about the C31 category work permit. I got it last week. That is amazing, Sony 123840. If you got a work permit that says C31 on it, that means your VAWA petition was approved. USCIS is insane. So instead of mailing somebody like you an approval notice, a letter that says, congratulations, Sony 123840, your VAWA petition, I-360, filed, October 1, 2021, is approved. You have an included kid. This is what they look like, these approval notices. You have a derivative kid who's listed on it. You can proceed with filing for a green card. Instead, they mail these work permits. Thank you very much. I mean, it's nice that they sent it, but people are confused by it. What the heck does it mean? For our clients, when we get this, we write them a letter to the Vermont Service Center. We say, USCIS Vermont Service Center, thank you so much for this work permit, but we need an approval notice. My client needs a letter that says his VAWA was approved. You need it for the future. When you file for green card and citizenship and travel, you need to have an approval letter. And they're always very surprised about it. Like, oh, what? Why do you need it? You got the work permit. Well, nobody understands other than lawyers what the C31 on the green card means, but it's the best news. It means you were approved, and I congratulate you. This reminds me of the story. My best friend, how we became friends. So my twins were little. They were going into pre-K, right? When the kids are 4 in the United States, you put them into special class. It's called pre-kindergarten, not even full kindergarten. So I roll them in, and I meet this woman, and I would start talking, and she's standing there crying, telling me her divorce took like 8 years, she's still not divorced. I said, let me check your divorce. Because I know where to check. There's a free website, and you just have to know where to look. And lawyers sometimes understand these things that are so basic to us, but of course the public doesn't. This is why I do the show. So my friend Michelle says, I don't know how to check if my divorce is final. I go, I'll check right now. Literally, we're standing outside the school and talking. We just met, and she's telling me about her divorce. I go on my computer, I go to the New York State Unified Court website. It's, people don't even know it's called New York State Unified Court System. I'll go there. I ask her the spelling of her name. I ask her to see if she has an index number. She didn't, so we just checked by her name, and we found her divorce. So she didn't even know until that minute that I was there outside the school with her that she was divorced. I told her, I was like, Michelle, you were divorced since July. And you understand, we're in front of the school, so it's already September, right? So she's been divorced since July. We find out in September. Her damn lawyer never called her and never checked on her case. I was just somebody she just met. Of course, I'm a lawyer too. And I told her she was divorced. She was crying happy tears. And this is how she became my closest friend. Since then, it's been already like my kids are now in 8th grade. So can you imagine? This was more than 10 years ago. And my best friend, I just helped her because I felt bad for her and she didn't know what was happening with her divorce. Same thing with immigration. People don't know what all this means. It's so complicated. They make it so difficult for everyone, even for us. We go to these conferences and we find out some basic things that they don't tell the public. But then when you know it, it makes it easier for us to help you guys. So I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope the stories help you make it more interesting and not dry. And I'm going to answer a couple more questions. I'm almost done. Gavin says, how long does it take to get your green card after your interview? Sometimes it comes right away, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And sometimes people wait for a year when they're investigating. And this is him saying, good afternoon. Fatima Yasmin says, this is my last question. Hello, I got divorced from my husband 2 months ago due to domestic violence. Can I file for VAWA? Yes, you can file up to 2 years from your divorce. Since you're saying it's only 2 months, not 2 years yet, call us. We can start with you. And the age gap, her husband was 66, she's 35. It is not a problem. Despite what other lawyers might scare you with, we have won many green cards with big age differences. You just have to prove the marriage was real. Thank you, everyone, for watching me. Thank you for your attention. We'll see you next week. I don't know. Hopefully, it's going to be like a Thursday. I'm not doing Fridays anymore. So tell your friends who watch me that Fridays no more, because I feel like by Friday, everybody's too tired and it's not going in and not so many people watch. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great week.